Ingvar Kamprad. Does that name ring a bell? What about IKEA? Even if you don't own any of the iconic Scandinavian megastore's designs, you probably know someone who does. IKEA has been serving meatballs and furnishing starter homes since the 60s. But what do you know about his famously private founder? Follow us as we unpack Ingvar Kamprad's inspiring and innovative story of how he went from farm life to self-made billionaire. And make sure to stick around till the end when we uncover Ingvar Kamprad's top 4 secrets to success that you can use to change your own life today. This is the true rags to riches story of Ingvar Kamprad. Ingvar Kamprad was the founder of IKEA, famous for his frugal philosophy and work ethic. Nearly 75 years after he founded IKEA, revolutionizing the way affordable furniture is designed and distributed, Swedish business magnate and self-made billionaire Ingvar Kamprad died at the age of 91. He had retired from running his global company only 5 years prior. Upon his death, Kamprad was the 8th richest person in the world, worth an estimated $58.7 billion. Compared to your average billionaire, Kamprad's purchases ranged from practical to downright thrifty. A lifelong wine connoisseur, he owned a vineyard in Provence that produced wine under his private label. He also owned a modest bungalow in a Swiss village and a large country estate in Sweden, originally worth $4.6 million. Though by the time of the estate sale in 2015, the property was slated to be demolished. Despite his wealth and small handful of properties, the business pioneer was infamous for his frugal habits. No first-class tickets or private jets for this billionaire CEO. Kamprad always flew economy and stayed at budget hotels while traveling. He even replaced the bottles in his hotel minibars with cheap ones he bought from local supermarkets. As for vehicles, he traded in his Porsche for economy cars. He only gave up his 1993 Volvo 240 GL when someone persuaded him that driving it was too dangerous. Originally, the car was worth around $22,000, but when he got rid of it 2 decades later, it was ready for the scrapyard. His money-conscious habits were not just a tenet of Kamprad's personal philosophy. Kamprad expected his employees and executives alike to follow in his frugal footsteps. He encouraged his co-workers to dress informally and to use both sides of each sheet of paper. The CEO practiced what he preached. "If you look at me now," he once said in a rare interview, "I don't think I'm wearing anything that wasn't bought at a flea market." Kamprad went as far as distributing a pamphlet of guidelines that IKEA employees still follow to this day. In it, he called wasting resources a mortal sin at IKEA. "I'm a bit tight with money, but so what?" he said. "I look at the money I'm about to spend on myself and ask myself if IKEA's customers can afford it. I could regularly travel first class, but having money in abundance doesn't seem like a good reason to waste it. If there is such a thing as good leadership, it is to give a good example. I have to do so for all the IKEA employees." In fact, Kamprad was so uninterested in money that he structured the ownership of IKEA in such a way that would guarantee the company was going to outlive his lifetime. The trust makes it impossible for any one person to assume control of the company by Kamprad's design. This means we can look forward to buying our couches, tables and rugs from IKEA for many years to come. And we can thank Kamprad and his upbringing for the values he instilled in his company. The self-made billionaire learned to be prudent with money from a young age. "It is in the nature of Småland to be thrifty," he explained, referring to the small town he grew up in. Ingvar Kamprad was born in Sweden on March 30th, 1926. The youngest child of 2 impoverished farmers, the early hardships he faced were a blessing in disguise. From a young age, Ingvar showed an interest in business. When he was 5 years old, he discovered that he could buy matches in large, cheap bundles in Stockholm, then sell them individually for a low price and still turn a profit. By age 10, he had sold everything from flower seeds, Christmas decorations, and greeting cards to pencils and fresh fish. Despite being dyslexic, Ingvar performed well in school, and at 17, his father rewarded his hard work with a small amount of money. Kamprad used it to open a company named IKEA, named after his initials, Elmteryd, the farm on which he grew up, and Agonneryd, the nearby village. Having grown up on a small farm with only the bare essentials, Kamprad's aim was to meet the needs of Swedish customers at greatly reduced prices. IKEA began as a mail order firm, selling items such as pens, watches, picture frames, and nylon stockings. 2 years after starting IKEA, Kamprad began using milk trucks to deliver his goods. It would be another 2 years before he would start selling furniture made by local manufacturers. He quickly realized that he could sell his furniture to a wider audience by putting together a catalogue and distributing it around Sweden. The first ever IKEA catalogue was published in 1951. From then, the brand continued to grow, with the first ever showroom opening up in 1953. This showroom was a huge step for IKEA and its customers, but manufacturers soon began boycotting the company, protesting against Kamprad's unbeatably low prices. This forced him to design items in-house and to expand his business beyond Sweden. Looking to cut costs, Kamprad hired Danish designers and sourced pine from Eastern Europe, which proved cheaper than even Scandinavian timber. His frugal philosophy extended into his personal life. He ditched his bespoke business suits, rolled up his sleeves, and doubled down on his steadily growing business. His breakthrough came just a couple of years later, but it would change the way the entire world makes, sells, and ships household goods for decades to come. In 1956, Kamprad noticed one of his employees struggling to fit a table into a customer's car. When he saw the employee take off the table's legs, he was struck with a genius idea. What if furniture were to be made in pieces, packed flat in a box for easy transport, and assembled at home by the customer? Kamprad was blown away by the revolutionary invention and quickly changed his business model to suit the new production method. This marked a turning point for the company that would cement it as a titan of furniture and housewares for decades to come. And so the Flatpack concept was born. In that first year, IKEA produced dozens of Flatpack furniture ranges. People actually loved the idea of buying items for their home for cheaper prices, even if they had to assemble it themselves. IKEA has never looked back. Flat packaging minimized shipping costs, transportation damages, and increased the store inventory capacity, which means they passed the savings on to their customers. Kamprad planned and modified IKEA stores to suit customer expectations. He soon expanded his business into various parts of Sweden. A few years later, IKEA established its presence in Norway, Germany, and then all over Europe. By 1989, IKEA had stores in France, Belgium, Italy, the UK, and the US. When IKEA opened up a store in Shanghai, 80,000 people visited it on its first day, a testament to its international appeal and popularity. Today, IKEA's domination of the home furnishing market is indisputable. With 445 stores around the world, the company earns around 40 billion euros per year, or around 49 billion USD. It is the planet's third largest consumer of wood, and at 208 million copies. There are more IKEA catalogues printed per year than pretty much any other book. Ingvar Kamprad's journey is as hard as it is inspiring. Let's count down some of the lessons Ingvar Kamprad has learned and shared with others over the years that'll help you reach new levels of success. First, make time for what's important. Ingvar Kamprad started his company from a small investment from his father, and even at 85, he was still traveling the world and visiting new IKEA stores. Time is your most important resource, Kamprad has advised. You can do so much in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, once gone, are gone for good. 10 minutes are not just 1/6 of your hourly pay. 10 minutes are a piece of yourself. Divide your life into 10 minutes units and sacrifice as few of them as possible in meaningless activities. And if assembling IKEA furniture falls into the meaningless category for you, Kamprad has that aspect of his business covered. In 2017, IKEA acquired TaskRabbit, which gives customers the option of hiring someone to assemble their furniture, saving precious hours that you invest elsewhere. Second, let go of your limitations. Kamprad struggled with dyslexia, which made it difficult for him to concentrate in school. When he found it difficult to use the alphanumeric codes for identifying specific types of furniture, he chose to name his products after men and women, Swedish islands, and Scandinavian locations instead. By choosing real names instead, it was easier to remember them and harder to make mistakes when filling out the information on forms. An incredibly popular bookshelf is named after a boy, Billy. The Hemnes dresser bears the same name as a town in northern Norway. Kamprad understood that we're only limited by ourselves and that no barrier is insurmountable if we use our strengths to compensate for our weaknesses. Perseverance and resilience have been the most invaluable assets of this pioneering entrepreneur and his success-orientated mindset. We don't need flashy cars, impressive titles, uniforms, or other status symbols. Kamprad wrote in the rousing document detailing his philosophy, "We rely on our strength and our will." Third, think outside the box. From Flatpack packaging and competitive pricing to serving Swedish meatballs and staging cozy showrooms in massive warehouses, IKEA has been a staple of many homes over the past several decades. Ingvar targeted the growing middle class as IKEA offered more and more affordable and stylish options easy on the wallet. Before IKEA existed, people saw furniture as an investment. IKEA changed the game by creating products that made the minimalist and modern Scandinavian aesthetic accessible to people around the world. From a young age, Kamprad has always sought to make his own opportunities. So when he saw a chance to innovate his products and launch his company above his competition, he took it. Now anyone can fit a bookshelf or a dining table into the car, or have it delivered right to their door and put it together themselves for a fraction of the cost of other retailers. All because Kamprad had a vision and the follow-through to make it a reality. Fourth, keep improving. Kamprad's final secret to success echoes in his own self-made story. It's deceptively simple but powerful advice. Find someone you trust and talk with a really good friend and test ideas with them. Once you come up with your brilliant idea, never settle for being the best, because what you do today, you have to do a little better tomorrow. We hope you've learned something from Ingvar Kamprad's journey, from farm life to shaping the future of furniture. Remember, make time for what's important. Let go of your limitations, think outside the box, and keep improving. Do you agree or disagree that we got all of Ingvar Kamprad's life lessons right? Would you add others? And make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more rags to riches stories and personal lessons from your favorite celebrities and entrepreneurs. We put out new stories frequently, so stay tuned for more inspiring content you can apply to your own life. See you next time, Rags to Riches TV fans.